Top players after yesterday's crazy, insane 53-man roster cutdown. Now, I do want to start this video off right away by saying, keep in mind, every player you sign from now on, you have to cut somebody from the roster. So before this, right now, right, we had 90-man rosters. So you really could sign anyone, have anyone on the roster. Well, now that we're down to 53-man rosters, you really gotta start deciding, which players you want and which players you don't want. Because every player you sign, you're getting rid of somebody. So taking, shots on players is a little bit more difficult now than it was, back when you had 90-man rosters. So starting off right away, there's a lot of talk about Trent Brown and potentially the Bengals bringing him back. I don't want Trent Brown back. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great option. Obviously, injuries have derailed his career, but I'm just not interested in Trent Brown. That's someone that they've been talking a crap ton about. I'm not interested. I'm still very interested in Mike Edwards. I think Mike Edwards is probably a great fit for us. I would not mind Mike Edwards. I think he could be a really good option. Other than Mike Edwards, we're going to talk about some other options. So I did see James say and talk about Aldrick Estime. This is a guy that, young guy, 2024 NFL draft, was a fifth round pick from Notre Dame. Go Fighting Irish. And this could be an option for us. Now, personally speaking, I don't want another running back. Nothing wrong with Aldrick Estime. I'm just personally looking at a roster and thinking, carrying 4 running backs would not be the smartest idea, because you have to take away from another position. And what are you going to do? Take away from wide receiver? You're not going to cut Tinsley. You're going to take away from tight end? Probably not. You could cut Cam Grandy, in all honesty. But again, I just don't see the situation here. You got Samaje Perine as your blocking / third down back. You got Chase Brown and Taj Brooks as your first and second down backs. I don't see a situation where another running back really makes sense. But again, that is the first option. Robert Woods, we're not picking him up at all. Tommy DeVito, new. Kenyon Green, this is a guy who doesn't really grade well with PFF. But he is 24 years old. He's just a baby. So, is it the craziest thing of all time to go after him? No. But again, this is someone who, PFF-wise, shows he's definitely not the greatest, but this is someone who you're going to have to develop. You're going to have to kind of wait some time to see how he can do. And the problem with that is, again, you look at his numbers from last year, 5 sacks allowed, 7 penalties, 582 snaps played. You don't love it, man. You really don't love it. And you look at, he played mainly left guard. Okay. Not the option I would go there. Now, there is another option I'm actually interested in, and it's not Hunter Renfrow or Farrell for the Commanders. It is actually Layden Robinson. So Layden Robinson is also 24 years old, so same age group, and also he's also another guy who doesn't really grade well with PFF, as you can see. He also allowed 4 sacks last year, 5 penalties, and 602 snaps played. But this is someone who did play with Scott Peters last year. And I did get a lot of comments down below saying this could be an option for the Bengals, as, he knows Scott Peters' system. He knows what Scott Peters is about. This could be an option. It could be. I'm probably going to say no, just because, again, the same system of we have to develop this guy. We have to train this guy. And we right now have 3 right guards are already a problem. I don't think we need another one. Corley, we're not picking up. Shy Tootle, he used to be a former starter, actually. Doesn't grade well at PFF again. But for him, which is interesting for me, is we have so many D tackles. Like, we carried, 11 defensive linemen. So I don't think we're going to pick up another one. Dustin Hopkins, after Cade York, I don't think we're into any more kickers for the Cleveland Brownies. Isaiah Simmons, this is an interesting one. So Isaiah Simmons was a safety when he joined the league. He actually converted from safety to linebacker with the Cardinals, and now he's was on the Packers. he is another kind of interesting type of player. I wouldn't really be against the idea of going after someone like this. But again, if you pick him up, you have to cut someone. In theory, you would probably cut Shaka Haywood, put him on your practice squad, and Isaiah Simmons would be that replacement right there. Mike Hilton, I would not mind picking him up and bringing him back. He is going to visit with the Colts today, so he'll probably end up on the Colts. KJ Osborne, nope. Greg Dulcich, what do you have, like 5 tight ends? MVS, nope. And then that's it for the top 15 players. Now, there is another player that was actually talked about here, and that was the strong safety for the Seahawks. So, first off, we got Jalen Mills, who was cut. He's an option. He was released by the Texans. Wouldn't really mind him, to be honest. He's actually not a bad option. Spent some time in the Texans, spent some time on the Patriots. He obviously starts with the Eagles. I said Hills. I meant Mills. Jalen Mills. Here he is. 31 years old. So a little bit older age-wise. But still decent in run defense, it looks like. Again, I think Mike Edwards is probably the best option. But he's still an option available. The Seahawks, though, they actually did cut someone recently. If I go down here, Jarek Reed II. He was a 6th-round draft pick in 2023. He's rarely ever seen the field on defense since entering the NFL, but he's been a great impact player on special teams. And obviously, you know how we love our system here is if you're great on special teams, you're probably going to make the roster and be successful. Tyson Anderson, Anthony, great special teamers the last 2 years, still on the roster for that reason. So, again, potentially an option here. Across the board, listen, all right. Safety, veteran corner, offensive lineman. That's what we're targeting. Dalton Risner is not done yet. The idea of Dalton Risner, we have to look at someone else. Dalton Risner is still available. And he does have to visit the Seahawks and the Steelers. But there's a good chance that he ends up coming back and signing with us. Especially given the fact that, I think out of those 3 locations, in my opinion, I think we are the best location possible. We are the best team out of those 3 locations. So, I'm excited to see, what the future holds and who we end up picking up. But I think we'll be fine. So, hopefully, we get some good news, though, because I kind of want to feel comfortable going into this season. Hoo day, boys.